Let's say our problem is 61 times 47. Of course, having studied the facts, your child can easily do the multiplication calculation. The commutative property tells us that you do not have to keep this in this order, this problem in this order. The 61 and the 47 can be manipulated first or last depending on what would be easier for your child to do. The place value can be visualized a bit more easily if the problem is done vertically. It doesn't need to be, it just could be. So in this particular case, I would flip the terms on this in order to take advantage of a pattern that happens when there's a 1 in the problem, and also taking advantage of the commutative property. So 47 times 61 would be what the problem would look like if we were doing the calculation in a traditional way. 1 times any number is that other number. So 1 times 47 is 47. There's not a whole lot of thought involved with this, just recognizing that feature of the 1. So 47 could just be put down. Now, multiplying by the 6 is the first time that your child really has to concentrate on, the actual facts. So many times a placeholder is put into this column because we are now over here with the 60 part, which is in the tens position. So the answer that 67 is going, or 6 times 7 is going to elicit will have to be into the tens position. So 6 times 7 is 42. We're going to put down the 2. And here's another helpful hint. Carrying the 4 can be done with the fingers. So I'm putting out 4 fingers. 6 times 4 is 24. 25, 26, 27, 28. And then our 2 pieces of the multiplication can be joined together through addition. The columns are perfectly lined up, and the answer is complete. So we used our place value, our commutative property, where we flip the terms, and we also noticed the pattern that the 1
Let's do some multiplication problems. I've taped off my whiteboard so I have columns that simulate the place value. Your child can do this too with a sheet of notebook paper turned sideways to have the columns simulated. If your child is like all over the page and can't contain his problems, they could always be sectioned off. The notebook paper could be sectioned off so problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. That is also helpful. Our first problem, 18 times 74. A quick glance at this, looking for patterns or the way that numbers can be manipulated, we have the commutative property that says that the 18 and the 74 can be flipped if that would be advantageous. And in this particular problem it is, because 18 has a 1 in it, and we remember the pattern for 1 is a trick that actually is very functional. Writing it down in our columns, we have 7 tens and 4 ones. That's really what that means. And 18, 1 10 and 8 ones. So our multiplication problem could be flipped via commutative property and then worked. 8 times the 4, we're in the ones column here. 8 times 4 is 32. We're going to put down the 2 in the ones column. The 3 is actually a 30. It is a tens. So we're going to carry the 3. I'm doing it with my fingers because I have enough. 8 times 7, 56, 57, 58, 59. 59 goes into the spills over into the hundreds column, we can only put one digit in each column. So we can only hold the numbers 0 through 9. 59 spilled over into the hundreds column. We're basically done with the 8. Now here comes our trick. We have a 1 times 74. Anytime you multiply anything by 1, it is the other number. We just have to be careful of the placement. The 1 is in the tens column. The beginning answer is going to start right underneath it. Some children need to put a placeholder here so they do not shift the columns. But now that we've got it lined up properly, 1 times 74 is 74. There's no need to really think a lot about that. So the placement was the only time that your child was vulnerable. Add those together to get a 2. 9 plus 4 is 13. Again, the 1 spills over to the other column. I'm going to hold it out with my finger. 7 plus 5, 12, and 1 is 13. And again, the 1 spills over into the other column, and the problem is done.